Hello everyone, welcome to Smart China Expo 2018, and this is Chongqing International Media Center. First of all, let me have a brief introduction of our special guest. This is Mr. Christopher Lin, and he is the Consul-General of Australia in Chengdu, China. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too, and thank you for having me on your program.
So let's begin, right? Okay, so this is the first edition of Smart China Expo, and it's totally new to everyone here. So could you please tell us about your first impression of this big event?
Well, it's certainly very impressive. The scale is amazing, and I understand there is actually 20,000 guests at this inaugural expo, and it actually is a very important theme, focusing on smart technologies and in particular, smart sort of industries and also smart cities. These are areas that are of great importance, to the world, and also in particular to Australia as well. I particularly like the theme of the expo, which is enriching economy and also enriching life, because the use of technology is truly to improve our livelihoods. This is a point which actually the Vice Premier Han Zheng had made in his speech, and it was also very much the same line that the Party Secretary of Chongqing, Chen Mina, actually used. We are participating. We have a number of delegates coming to the expo, ranging from, of course, our Consulate-General here. The embassy in Beijing is actually represented here through our Department of Industry, Innovation and Science representative. We have our Australian Trade and Industry Commission also represented at the expo. Our two state government are also represented through their representatives, the states of Victoria and Queensland. And of course, we're very proud to have three Australian companies represented here at the Expo. They are firstly MOX, a company that looks at smart technology solutions for the home and also for industry. We have Eastern Elevators, which is actually based here in Chongqing.
Really?
Yes, they're a terrific example of Australia-Chongqing relations, actually. They build smart parking systems, for cars, and also smart elevators, which is really terrific.
Yeah.
And the third company is one that focuses on health as well. So this is terrific for us to participate at the expo, and we wish the Smart Expo the very best of success.
And now Chongqing is implementing a development plan driven by innovation, technology, especially by big data and AI technology. So what's your opinion on this aspect? I would like to hear it.
Certainly. I think that it is a very ambitious strategy. It is one that is definitely in line with world trends. I think many countries around the world, including Australia, are very keen to basically do more in the area of artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, smart technologies, and also big data. We're very fortunate today at the Smart China Expo to have a preeminent professor from the University of Melbourne. His name is Professor Rao Kotagiri. He is here to talk about artificial intelligence. So he's also among the invited guests at the Expo. To answer your question, I think it is very important because these new technologies are an important driver of basically upgrading industries.
Yes.
And I think that many sort of industrialized cities or countries are looking for that next step. to actually upgrade their industries. And no doubt, Chongqing, as China's biggest automotive producer, we're producing over 3 million cars every year. It's very important in that respect. But there are also new areas too, and also smart technologies and AI and big data can go into different areas, including logistics. We're very lucky also, Australia has a leading company called Goodman Logistics. They specialize in warehousing and also logistics for many companies producing goods. They have bases here in Chongqing's Liangjiang area. So those are areas that we're very keen to work with Chongqing on.
Right. And I know Mr. Christopher has participated twice for the iChongqing Carnival here in Chongqing. So you are an old friend of our city. So could you please make a brief review of the history of friendship between Chongqing and Australia? And I would like to know, how do you think about the future of the two sides?
Well, I simply love Chongqing. I think Chongqing is a very dynamic and energetic and a very exciting place in China to be. And I hope that more Australians will get to know Chongqing because it is a very enticing place to be. There are actually Australia's relationship with Chongqing goes back a long way. We have an exhibition that is actually coming up to Chongqing in around October called Odyssey, and it shows the work of photographers of Australia from very early times, taking pictures of China and also Chongqing in the early days. And what it shows is that we have been around looking at China and observing China, learning about China for a long time. One particular thing that I'd like to say about our relationship with Chongqing is that during the Second World War, which is from 1941 to 46, Australia has a legation building here in Chongqing. A legation building is an older word for embassy, for embassy building. So Australia had representation at the diplomatic level in Chongqing during the Second World War. And so it was one of our first legation buildings in the world, or legations in the world, and it was located in Chongqing. And the building still stands to this day. The building still is in Erling Gongyuan, which is Gooseneck Park in the old part of Chongqing, and it's currently used by the Erling administration, park administration. So we, Australia, love that building very much, because it represents, our commitment to China, relationship, long-standing relationship with China. But that was, a long time ago during the Second World War. Through the ages, there's been also different stages of development, and I just want to highlight one, which is in the year 2000. Australia and China embarked on a project of collaboration in the vocational education and training area. And we chose Chongqing to be the pilot area for collaboration in the vocational education and training area. And that project was very, very successful. And a lot of collaborators in the VET area, we call, still remember it very strongly. And in fact, a lot of people here in Chongqing regard our assistance and also collaboration and cooperation in vocational education has been a very important part in allowing and also enabling Chongqing to be the manufacturing center today that it is, because it trained a generation of people in Chongqing to be able to work in the factories, in the production plants. So I think that there is a lot between Australia and Chongqing, and as I said before, there are companies that operate here, Eastern Elevators today, as well as Goodman Logistics, and even one of our major banks, ANZ Bank, has a branch here in Chongqing.
So it has been a very long but significant history between Chongqing and Australia. And thank you very much, Mr. Christopher, for taking your time here in our interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being on your program, and I wish Chongqing every success.